Welcome in, folks. Merrifield Sportsbook Show. It is part two of our conference tournament preview. We got all the big dogs this week. Jay Walsh, Matt Merrifield, Jada Coster, myself, Nick Burt, back at it again. It's a big week for college basketball. Some of the best days of the year, basketball wise. Jay Walsh, how are you doing here on this Wednesday evening as we record? We're getting into that stretch where it is just basketball wall to wall from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, I mean, this is for a college basketball junkie. This is by far, obviously, the best time of year. That first day of the round of 64 is just a magical thing, and we keep inching closer to it. So definitely looking forward to that. Aside from that, we're doing pretty good. Took advantage of the nice weather in the southeastern part of the state of Michigan the last 2 days. Went out golfing for the first time outside this year. Went all right. So we're feeling good, ready to talk some hoops.
That is just the least shocking news I've ever heard, that Jay Walsh was golfing in the beginning of March on what I'm assuming was March 9th and 10th. That is the least shocking news of all time. Matt Merrifield, how are you doing here on this Wednesday evening?
I'm very good. I'm a little jealous that Jay Walsh was able to play outdoor golf. I have been confined to the simulator, which is just a net that my father has attached to our garage. So now we can't park in our garage. We have to use only our driveway because we have to take golf balls and get ready for golf season. But I do have to, Nick, I have to put you on blast for a second. This has nothing to do with soccer. As Champ Week has been absolutely tremendous. I don't know if Jay or Jay Walsh have to deal with this, but when I text you about something in terms of March Madness or a team that I'm watching on my television screen, and you tell me, no, Matt, stop rooting for that team because they have some sort of affiliation to a former Big East school. I'm out here rooting for the Dukes because Siena is awesome. They have the best mascot maybe in all of college basketball.
They're the Saints, not the Dukes.
The
Let's
Saints,
get this correct here.
They have the St. Bernards. They have the live St. Bernard. I was going to ask you that, but before I could even ask, you told me start rooting for Merrimack because their former player, their coach was a former Syracuse player who I had never even heard of. I'm out here rooting for Pitt because I refuse to have. I don't remember who Pitt played yesterday.
Stanford
bubble team. Pitt put Stanford out of their misery. Thank God. Don't want Stanford in the tournament. They were bad. No, Matt. Pitt can't win because they took the football money. Timeout. Or I wake up to text in all caps. No, Gene Autry's been fired. No, I want him to coach for 3,000 years. Good Lord. Anyways, the hatred for Syracuse. Nick has sent me more Syracuse hate texts in the last 36 hours than I think he has in the first 3 years of me knowing him, 4 years of me knowing him.
I doubt that's true. I hate on Syracuse every week.
It's close. I had to ask him would he root for Iran if they played Syracuse, and he responded in Arabic. So that's where we're at. All right, Jay, you're up.
Jay, how are you doing?
I don't really know how I can top that. I mean, I'm good. This is good basketball. I don't really know how I can top that, but yeah, I mean, I don't. Some bad ACC basketball, I guess I could watch, but hate watch Syracuse. And then DePaul plays in 8 minutes, so fun stuff.
Indeed, they do. Big game for them. A 6th seed in the Big East tournament, the highest seed they've ever gotten in a Big East tournament. Scomans will get into it later, but let's get into this here. Part two. Let's begin. Starting with the America East Conference. That probably should have thrown this one in last week. We're already down to the finals. It is going to be UMBC and Vermont. These two teams seem to control this conference every year. Jay Walsh, I'm just going with you here first. Who are you taking in this battle of the America East for who will most likely be a 16 seed playing in Dayton on Tuesday night?
It's It's going to be UMBC. I know Vermont has a good reputation of being able to win this tournament and get into the big dance, but UMBC is the best team in this conference this year. I mean, they went 14-2 in conference play. If you look at team stats pretty much across the board for the America East, UMBC leads in just about every single one in terms of points scored against, shooting percentage, both for and against, 3-point percentage, turnovers. They're just a really well-rounded team. So I don't really necessarily see Vermont winning this game. I'm not going to say that UMBC is going to blow them out or anything, but I just think I think the Terriers they are the Terriers, right? That's their
Retrievers, I think.
Retrievers. God, I knew they were a dog. But they're the best team in this conference, so I'm going to go UMBC.
Matt, will you be taking the 2018 Cinderellas to go back to the tournament?
I will be. I have to say I am a little disappointed in the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Never forget when they beat John Beeline. And what was that? 2016? Something like that, 2015. It was the year they missed the tournament. It was what a great time to be alive when they were like brand new to Division I. I was heartbroken. I took UMBC in the Jerome, and I hate Vermont. Vermont is the Death Star of mid-major basketball because they never win. Them and Wright State always win their conference, and they never do shit in March. They get their 14 seed, 13, 12 seed. They always are highly touted, and they get stomped on every single year. They're worse than the HBCU sometimes. So give me UMBC because they've actually won a game in March in the last decade.
All right, Jay, round us out here. Of these two teams, who are you taking to win the America East?
Yeah, not really too much to add. I mean, like Matt said, Vermont's been kind of the class of this conference, but I mean, it's UMBC's conference to lose. They're just more dominant. They dropped a couple bombs on these couple teams, scored 91 and then 84 the last couple games. Not really too much else to add. I'll take UMBC to get a Sweet 16 a 16 seed and then get bounced in Dayton. So,
folks, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
UMBC going to the Sweet 16.
Great there, guys.
Home court advantage, give me UMBC. How much of a home court advantage is there going to be? I don't know because I haven't watched a UMBC game this year. I don't know what kind of crowds they draw, but give me the Retrievers to return to the tournament. Moving on, the MEAC. I don't even know what to say here. Matt, I believe the favorite here is Howard at -300. Do you have anything to add here?
I mean, I'll get this out of the way now because I could also say it about the SWAC. If you want to watch horrible basketball, and I mean horrible basketball, watch this conference tournament. Like, truly, I don't even know. I think I picked Howard in the Jerome. Let me confirm my selection. I took the MEAC. Where the hell is it? I did take Howard. I probably shouldn't have because the 8 seed very well could win this tournament. There aren't even 8 teams in this tournament. They're all equally terrible. It's nobody runs any sets. There's no centers. Nobody's over like 6'8" in any of these conferences, and it's a couple ball screens, chuck up a shot. It's terrible. There's a reason these teams get stomped every year at the tournament. So give me Howard, but gag. Whoever wins going to Dayton.
Correct. It seems like whoever wins this tournament always has the automatic bid to Dayton. Jay, who's taking that trip to potentially face off against most likely UMBC?
Yeah, probably Howard. Norfolk State's had some decent success in this tournament. I honestly kind of like them as well. Honestly, I'm going to take Norfolk State just in an upset just because there's nothing else good going on in this conference. So give me Norfolk State, I guess.
Jay Walsh, you have anything super stat-wise here that you can find about MEAC?
Not particularly. Like Matt said, there's really not a lot to talk about in this conference tournament. I don't see any of these teams really making a splash in the tournament. I'm going to go Howard here. It is notable that 2-seed Morgan State did lose to Delaware State earlier today. So that definitely makes the road to the tournament a little bit easier for Howard, that they don't have to play the 2-seed, but nobody in this conference is very good. So I'm going to go Howard, and doesn't really matter because none of these teams are winning a game in the tournament anyway.
Give me Howard. I got nothing to add. Let's move on. Our first big dog here. It's the Big 12 tournament, playing on an absolute joke of a court in Kansas City. I could go on forever. That is my second Syracuse. I hate the Big 12 court thing. I would root for Iran before rooting for the Big 12 court.
Is it better or worse than Oregon's home court?
100% worse. I love the Oregon court. So
better, more important question about the Big 12. Are you more upset that they're forcing Jay Billis and Dan Schulman on us, even though Booge is still there with Fran? Like, why do they have the A and B broadcast team at the Big 12 tournament? And also,
Fran Pachola should always be calling.
Like, he is
correct.
Big 12 basketball. He is Big 12. Booge is awesome.
My bigger annoyance with that is they have Schulman and Billis doing the semis and the final.
Why are they not doing the ACC or SEC? I mean,
they're doing the SEC on Sunday.
It's just like so
meanwhile, you have Jay Williams and a crew neck on the ACC network calling Pitt and Stanford yesterday. Anyways,
correct. Jay DeCoster, going to you first here. I mean, we have talked about the Big 12 all year. Absolutely stacked. You had a team like BYU. They were a 10 seed. They played yesterday. They're playing right now. Who are you taking here to win this Big 12 tournament?
Yeah, obviously, super stacked conference has been the best conference all year. I've absolutely loved listening to Boogan, Fran Fraschilla call these stacked games. I'm gonna go kind of the boring route. I'm gonna go Houston. I think Houston, they've had a little troubles over the last few weeks, but they've kind of turned it around a little bit. I feel like this is just Houston's tournament to kind of lose here for them. Especially with Texas Tech, even though JT Toppin's hurt, they're going to be a threat. I think they have a decent chance to take down Arizona on the Friday game. I think they'll beat Iowa State, but regardless, I think Houston's going to win. Kansas, too banged up right now. They don't look great. They lost to Arizona State, who got absolutely boat raced today against Iowa State. Give me Houston. I felt that. I know, a lot of guys on this podcast really love how they play basketball, and I think they can go back to the Final Four once again. Like, I'm sure a lot of people think that, but I'm going to go Houston.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Jay. RIP to Bobby Hurley's career at Arizona State, officially fired today after the game. Maybe he can take a journey up to Storrs, Connecticut, put him on the bench. I don't know. Would be fun. Jay Walsh, who are you taking here to win the Big 12?
This is a tournament that I am really sad that injuries are a thing in college basketball, because this could have been a really, really interesting tournament to watch. Because, I mean, obviously you have your top teams. I mean, I've made my opinion on Arizona clear the entire season. Just about everybody in this podcast thinks that Houston is a great team. Obviously, Kansas is loaded with talent. Iowa State, I think, is one of the more underrated teams in the country. But when you look at like Texas Tech and BYU, I mean, those were teams that very well could hang around with any of the top guys. But with the injuries they suffered, I just don't see it, unfortunately, at this point. Obviously, BYU still got AJ DeBonsa, who's one of, if not the best overall player in the country. But unfortunately, after losing Richie Saunders earlier in the year, he basically has to do it himself. And that kind of hero ball is not going to get him past Houston. So this is one of those brackets where I really don't see anybody that doesn't have that double bye winning. I do think Iowa State will play Arizona in the quarterfinals, but I don't see them getting past there. I'm gonna take Arizona. Like I said, I've made my opinion on them clear the entire season. I think they are, if not the best team in the country, certainly one of the two best teams in the country with Michigan. They're a very deep team that I think they're going to win this tournament. So we can talk all we want about, Tommy Lloyd and the big dance, but this isn't the big dance yet. I think they're going to get through this tournament, and I think they're going to do it not necessarily super with a lot of difficulty.
Matt, who are you taking here to win this Big 12 conference?
I agree with Jay Walsh. I'm going with Arizona. Houston and Arizona, I think, is the title game. It's a question of who's going to win that game. I believe that was the title game last year for the Big 12, and Coach Lloyd has a lot of success when he was in the Pac-12. Pac-12 felt like every year Arizona was in the Pac-12 conference championship game, regardless of how good they were. And the Big 12. I mean, looking at this bracket, kind of like Jay Walsh pointed out, what UCF ended up winning this afternoon, I believe, and what was just absolutely disgusting basketball in that final minute. And I didn't even watch overtime. I had no interest in watching overtime. I just was going to let God decide who got to move on and gets their stomach pumped by Arizona tomorrow. I think Iowa State, having been able to play today, go against a shorthanded Texas Tech team, I think that one could get ugly tomorrow. It won't be as bad as what Iowa State did to Arizona State this afternoon, but I don't think Iowa State is as good as Arizona. And then from there, I mean, it's a coin flip between Houston and Arizona. I'm gonna roll with Arizona as the top seed to win that game and get revenge and be Big 12 champions.
Give me Kansas. I know Darren Peterson is probably not going to play because it's on this stupid court that's made of glass, and he's going to, worry about injuring himself. So he's probably going to get subbed out 5 minutes into the game and then never play again until, next week. But I just like Kansas here. I think Bill Self has a really good team this year. I know they've had their struggles here and there, but just something about the Big 12 tournament in Kansas, they always seem to get to the final. I don't know why, but give me the Jayhawks to win the Big 12 here. We will move on here. Mountain West Conference. Action in Las Vegas, Nevada. Jay Walsh, I'll go to you here. Your thoughts here on the Mountain West.
I really like New Mexico in this tournament. Not just because obviously they have a Pitino head coach, but I think they are a very complete team. Oh, Nick?
They do not. He is at Xavier.
I forgot he went to Xavier. Wow. Okay. My bad. Anyway, I do think they are a good team, though. They're one of the best defensive teams in this conference. And I mean, they can score. They could score the ball enough to be able to win games with their defense. I think they got a favorable draw here because I don't really think San Diego State is that great, to be honest. So I'm gonna go with New Mexico in this one.
Matt, I'm going to you next here. What are you thinking here for the Mountain West Conference? Some might call it the Conference of Champions, given that the Pac-12 no longer exists, at least for now.
The Mountain West tournament's always tough because New Mexico is a team that could threaten for a bid steal if they were to win this conference tournament. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. I'm going to go with Utah State. I think they've just been a slightly better cut above the rest in the Mountain West this year. I know they're projected to be an 8/9 seed, and I think that right now it's only projected to be a one bid league. I don't think San Diego State's supposed to get in. They should have no issue with UNLV tomorrow, even though they just lost. They got blown out by UNLV last week. They lost by 27 last Tuesday to UNLV. So I have to imagine they're going to come out and play it pretty inspired. Coming out, they lost both games to UNLV this year. I'm seeing right now. That is wild, considering they still won the conference and they only won five. They lost 5 conference games, 2 of which were to the 8 seed they play tomorrow. and they're playing in Vegas. Wow. I'm sticking with Utah State because that's what I put down in my Jerome, but that is not a great trap I'm walking into. But what I was going to get to was that Grand Canyon has been okay this year in the Mountain West. Obviously, you expected there'd be a little bit of a turn from joining from the WAC, but I think Utah State's ready for that battle. And then whoever it is, New Mexico or San Diego State, even Colorado State, I think is a team that might be able to put a little bit of a run together. But give me Utah State after their cow thing they did in the student section last week. They can do no wrong.
Wow. Jay, who are you taking here to win the Mountain West?
I'm taking San Diego State. I know Utah State's, the more dominant team in this conference, but San Diego State's not too far behind. They beat Utah State 89-72 late in late February. And, Brian Dutcher's a very good coach. I know they play kind of a disgusting brand of basketball, as you guys saw in Dayton last year, but they are still a very, very solid team. And, Brian Dutcher, I do trust him as a head coach to get through a tournament like this and be a kind of a bid stealer. So, give me San Diego State. I mean, they're kind of like the big dogs on the block in the Mountain West. I'm expecting them to make some noise here in the next coming days. So,
As much as I would like to take UNLV to make a run here, under first-year head coach Josh Pastner, have him go on a 2021 Georgia Tech run with his, COVID visor. I don't think it's in it for the Running Rebels this year. But I will say we are in desperate need of bid stealers right now with how bad this bubble is. So give me New Mexico to win this under Eric Olin, not Richard Pitino. Olin came over from UC San Diego. Obviously, he had that great year last year, got them to the tournament. I believe he was the one that led them up from D2. He's done really well. It's been kind of a smooth transition from Pitino to Olin, and I know his name is going to be popping up for some big time jobs come the next few weeks. So we'll see how that goes. But give me the Lobos to return to the tournament for a second straight season. Folks, we've moved on. Best conference in America, greatest tournament in the world, Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, the greatest place on earth. Matt Merrifield, why is UConn winning the Big East tournament?
No, they're not. Because this UConn team is not like other UConn teams because they don't win. They win close games, Nick. They don't blow people out. Will they beat Xavier tomorrow? Probably. 2 great games so far. I know DePaul Georgetown just tipped off. But the winner of the Big East is going to be a bid stealer, a team that's technically on the bubble, but they would have to win 3 games this weekend to even be considered. It's the Seton Hall Pirates. I think Seton Hall, they're going to beat. I'm not a huge on Creighton. I think they can get to that game on Friday against St. John's most likely. And that'll be a rock fight of rock fights. 2 teams that are more defensive oriented or stronger on the defensive side of the ball. And Shaheen Holloway in March is a coach I don't want to play against because of how hard his teams play. Either way, it's going to be an entertaining weekend. The only team of the top 4 seeds I don't envision winning it is Villanova. I think obviously UConn and St. John's are the by far the favorites, but I think Seton Hall is the dangerous of the power conferences. I think Seton Hall is the team that can steal a bit away from somebody and hopefully keep, I don't even know who, off the bubble. I've accepted the fact that Ohio State's going to make the tournament, but I'm hoping like SMU or somebody of that ilk can be kept home.
I haven't checked bracketology recently. Is Auburn still a bubble team, or are they just firmly out?
They're like one of the last teams in.
Oh God!
Or one of the
For
first
some
teams
reason,
out. Mississippi State could have helped us out today, but I mean, we'll get to that in a second.
Jay, I'll go to you next here. Are we going to see a DePaul Blue Demons tournament run here? We are currently 5 minutes into the game, and they are up 6-2 on the Georgetown Hoyas.
That'd be glorious because get through Georgetown, they can definitely beat Villanova. I mean, Villanova's an 8 seed. They're going to be in the tournament, but they're pretty beatable. They've had some really close games. I mean, they almost lost to Marquette earlier in the year. But I'm I'm just gonna go chalk and pick UConn. I think, with St. John's winning it last year, I think Dan Hurley has some. I think he's pissed, and also because of that bad loss against Marquette, had no business losing that game. But it is what it is. But I know UConn isn't as talented this year, but they'll find a way. I'm taking UConn, and I just trust Dan Hurley to get it done in a spot like this where his team's been kind of struggling. And plus, they blew the doors off St. John's, around a month ago. So, yeah, I'll take UConn.
Jay, would you like to comment on Marquette's season coming to an end today?
I mean, Will DeCoster, who's back from spring break for some reason, was like very into the game. I don't know why. I told him like 3 times, buddy, you're not making the tournament. Just take a seat. Well, they're getting Nigel Hayes back. They're the Big East freshman of the year, which is a good return because he's a very good player. But I mean, they got some work to do in the portal, and they're probably not. They'll probably make the tournament next year, but they're probably not making a second weekend because it's shock a ball fraudcon.
Correct. Jay Walsh, I'll go to you next. What are you thinking here on the world's greatest tournament?
I'm going to go UConn simply because while I agree with Matt that this UConn team is not the same as previous year UConn teams, they're not as good. This conference kind of sucks this year. I mean, there are very few good teams in this conference. I do agree with Matt that I think Seton Hall could make that run to the final. But again, that's not me saying that I believe Seton Hall is a sneaky good team. It's that I really don't believe in any other team on that side of the bracket. I'm going to go with UConn here because somebody has to win this thing. But I do not like the Big East this year. This is a really not good conference this season.
Well, they're giving us at least 3 bids, so it's got to mean something. Guys, why not the Providence Friars? Why can't they make a run here? Kim English, lame duck head coach. Why not? They're not going to, because it's going to be the UConn Huskies tournament once again, returning to the top of their Big East throne. There's not much else to say. I will say, of all the teams that they could possibly play, I am scared of Villanova. That is the one I'm most scared of. Yes, St. John's is St. John's, but Villanova feels like a opportunity to just pop up and say, "Woo, we're taking a win from you." And who knows? UConn Huskies return to the top of the throne, Big East champions. Can't wait. And then the run to Indy starts right after that. Well, the SWAC. We don't have much to say here. Jay DeCoster, just give me a winner here for the SWAC. We lost the number 1 seed today, which was Bethune-Cookman. I don't have anything else.
Whoops. Yeah, I really got nothing. I'll take Florida A&M, I guess. I really have nothing on this conference, so give me Florida A&M.
Jay, they're down 1 at halftime to Jackson State.
Okay, and come back and win. Give me Florida A&M.
Love it.
Jay Walsh, give me a team here.
Genuinely, I have no idea. My initial pick for this conference was Bethune-Cookman, and then they lost. Southern. Why not?
Matt, who did you take in the Jerome?
I took, for 2 reasons, I took Florida A&M. More for the first one, both have nothing to do with on the court ability. They're fine. They're just 11-7. I didn't want to take the 1 seed, so I took somebody else. And they went 11-7, and But first off, do yourself a favor and look up their mascot. Great mascot. Need that guy in Dayton. I don't even know what his name is. Venom. Absolutely grit. Second reasoning is that sophomore year, when I was a beat broadcaster for Michigan State women's
I knew you were
basketball.
going to bring this up. I was just thinking the same thing.
Michigan State women's basketball played Florida A&M, and friend of the program, Allie Cohen, kept calling them the Razzlers because we had just got done playing Oakland. I don't know where apparently she was getting Oakland Golden Grizzlies and the Rattlers mixed up. She kept calling them the Razzlers on air. So for that reason, I want the Razzlers to be in Dayton. For that reason only. Also, Jay, I'm pretty sure that was Guns and Hayride night, which was also a great night. So I'm like 95% sure it was that night. So all-time night. Give me Florida A&M.
I took Southern in the Jerome. Give me the Jaguars. I think that's what they do. I don't know. Go Jaguars. We'll move on. Mid-American Conference. Folks, we have to have a conversation about Miami, Ohio. Jay Walsh, we just have to have this conversation. They're not good. And they're not going to win this tournament.
You're right, they're not. They're not going to win this tournament, but they still need to be included in March.
Correct.
If the committee leaves them out of this tournament because they don't win, I'm going to be incredibly upset. Because any team that, I don't care who you play, if you go 31-0 in the regular season, you deserve to be in the tournament. Last thing I'm going to say about that. But yes, you're correct. Miami, Ohio is not winning this conference tournament. I'm going to go Bowling Green. I think they are one of the more complete teams in this conference. They play against Toledo in the first round, and then obviously the winner of that game will probably face Miami, Ohio in the semifinals. I like Bowling Green. Like I said, they're a complete team. They play good defense. They can score. They kind of do a little bit of everything. They have one of the best scorers in the conference. So I think this is a team that could very well go on a run and become a bid stealer. So I like Bowling Green in this one.
Matt, I asked you today, and you told me, I don't even remember what you told me, but I said, what happens if UMass wins tomorrow against Miami, Ohio? I mean, it's something we have to consider, given Frank Martin is a Final Four head coach.
It's not happening. It's just not. It's not happening. They're not losing tomorrow. And if they do lose tomorrow, I will say what I said yesterday, and is they're going to Dayton. This team is getting in. I'm tired of Bruce Pearl and the woke nonsense of TV analysts trying to fearmonger us into thinking they're not a tournament team. This happens every year. There is one team on the bubble, maybe two, that are thrown into that last four bye, first or last four in, next four bye, that are, for some reason, are on the bubble. And then Selection Sunday comes around and they're a 9 seed or an 8 seed, and they were nowhere clear. They were well clear of the actual bubble. Michigan State 2 years ago comes to mind because we had to live that experience of Michigan State hoops, wondering, are they going to get in? And then they show up as an 8 seed playing Mississippi State. I think that's the situation we're here with Miami. Now, if they lose tomorrow, yeah, you can't lose tomorrow. But short of that, if they lose, I still think they're an at-large bid and they're in the actual field. I am taking Akron, and we're getting a 2-bid MEAC this year. Bowling Green, Toledo, and Kent State always blow it. So those are teams. I mean, Bowling Green, I don't know if they necessarily blow it because they've never really been good enough to win it. But Kent State and Toledo always have teams that are good enough and can never do it, let alone when they're not the best team in their conference. Akron, I forget the coach's name. Obviously, he was the old coach of Illinois. He's going to be the next coach at Syracuse potentially. Nick, does that make you happy? Is that good? Is that bad?
Anybody that takes them on the trajectory they're going, I'm good with.
Well, Anywho, I think Akron wins simply for the nonsense that would be a 2-bid MAC conference, but I am a stan of Miami, Ohio, even though they'll probably lose in the first round. But that's besides the point. They should be in. They are one of the 60. They are one of the best 35 teams or whatever, how many at-large bids there are. I don't think that's a question, especially if we're watching some of the basketball today. There's some bad basketball teams on this bubble. Cincinnati fucking sucks. Their guard play in the last minute of that game, I keep hearing the broadcasters talk about Dan Schulman. First off, why is Dan Schulman calling Cincinnati UCF basketball? Talking about their experience and how they have all these senior guards, and they just take a 10-second violation because they forget to bring the ball across half court. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Seriously? You played 150 games of college basketball and you can't count to 10. Anyways, go Redhawks.
Jada Coster, who are you taking to win MACtion?
I'm also taking Akron, and yes, I do agree with you guys that Miami should be getting in. I'm also sick of Bruce Pearl saying they played nobody. Like, you're 31-0. You play the games that are on your schedule. Like, they should be getting in regardless. So, but Akron, really good offensive team. They can shoot it really well. The analytics just favor Akron a little more here. They're just the more talented team. So, yeah, I'm going to take Akron. I just think they're the better team. I cannot wait for this tournament Saturday. The championship Saturday night, though. If it's Akron, Miami up, that'll be. I need the 2 screens going with the Big East championship and then this. So, be exciting.
Chris Paul, Steve Nash, must-see TV.
Correct. 2-bid MAC. Give me Akron to win this tournament in Cleveland, Ohio. Obviously, that's quick drive for the Zips, and of course, a good friend of ours, Michael Markoch, former Zip. Akron wins this tournament. I don't even want to talk about this dumpster fire of a tournament here. It's the ACC. I don't know. Matt, what do you got here?
I have a question. I'm now realizing, why is this the only power conference, or maybe the only conference in general, that has, on a neutral site where they don't give the top seed the advantage of playing earlier in the day? Why is Duke playing at 7 tomorrow and Virginia plays at noon?
I think it's because they want them in prime time because it's Duke.
Even then, okay, then on Friday, why is Duke the later game? I know it's 2 hours, not the end of the world, but anyways, for that reason.
Because it's the ACC, it's a joke.
God, I watched some really bad basketball teams today. NC State, Pitt was good basketball, but you could clearly tell those were 2 bad teams playing against each other. I want to know what Florida State Cal looked like this evening. Give me Virginia. I don't know. I took Virginia in the Jerome. Like, Duke's not going to win it because it's the ACC, and the top team never wins this damn tournament. Somebody stupid wins it, and I can't tell if Virginia's good or not. They're 27-4, but I really don't know if they're any good. They didn't play anybody in non-conference. They lost to Butler. I don't know. They got their shit pounded in by Duke a couple weeks ago, but hey, you know what? Maybe UNC beats them for Virginia. Give me Virginia. It's Barry Odom basketball, whatever the hell his name is. Gary Odom.
Ryan Odom.
Same thing. You get the idea. Go Cavs. Wahoo.
Jay, I'll go to you next here. Please let me know what you are thinking about this ACC tournament.
I think it's just a pretty chalk tournament. A lot of injuries. North Carolina's shorthanded. Virginia's got a really good shot. Miami and they're decent. I'll just have to go Duke. I know Caleb Foster's out. But Duke's just so much. They're just way more talented. I just, the ACC is just so bad. I'll take Duke.
Jay Walsh, your thoughts here?
I feel very similarly about this tournament as I feel about the Big East tournament. This is just one of those tournaments that I really don't like any of the teams here. Obviously, I mean, Duke is Duke, but they're also very injured going in. Not only, as Jay said, is Caleb Foster out, but Patrick Ngongba's out for the tournament as well. That's two of their top 4 scorers on the team. So this is a hobbled Duke team playing against a bunch of teams that, as Matt said, I really don't know if anybody else in this conference is good or not. I'm going to go with Miami just because somebody has to win. I don't think Miami is that good, but who knows? Yeah, somebody's got to win this tournament. I don't think it's going to be Duke because, as we said, A, they're very injured, and B, this tournament always gets weird. So I'm going to go with Miami.
Well, everybody's correct here. This tournament does get weird. It's not fun to watch at points, but give me Virginia to win this tournament. I took Duke in the Jerome, but I don't like picking Duke. I don't know why I picked them. Give me Virginia. I don't really have any other reasoning past that. CUSA, another tournament. We lost the number 1 seed tonight. Liberty lost to Missouri State. Jay, I'll go to you first here. Your thoughts here on the CUSA tournament, a conference that has really fallen from grace and has just been backfilled by so many random schools.
Give me Western Kentucky at plus 700. I also just need to see Big Red in the tournament, but I feel like this is one of these tournaments where, a lot of chaos can happen. By the way, Big Red meaning that crazy mascot that they have. So give me Western Kentucky a little bit of value plus 700. I think they can squeeze past Sam Houston and then get past Louisiana Tech or Middle Tennessee.
Jay Walsh, I'll go to you next here. How much have your thoughts on this tournament been shaken up since Liberty lost about 45 minutes ago?
Not a ton. Just because I'm going to be totally real with you. I really don't know these teams very well right now. I know Liberty was the top seed, and obviously they're gone, so they're out. I'm going to go with Sam Houston just because they are one of the better 3-point shooting teams in this conference, and I could very easily see this being a conference tournament where one of these teams just gets hot and goes on a run, and I could realistically potentially see it extending into the first round. I think Conference USA tournament champion is a possible option for that Cinderella team that just gets hot and knocks out somebody big early. So I'm going to go Sam Houston, but yeah, not a lot of analysis here.
Matt, I'll go to you next here. Who are you picking to win this CUSA?
I don't know. I took Liberty. I mean, fuck. I don't know. Kennesaw. Did they lose today? They played tonight. What's the score of that one?
Yeah.
What's the score of that one? Let's look. Kennesaw. They play tomorrow. They play tomorrow. What is this woke nonsense tournament? What is this? You get a date. Give me Kennesaw. I don't even know what they're only a 1.5 underdog tomorrow. So yeah, give me Kennesaw. Give me the Owls. So close to beating Xavier a couple years ago. They get it done this year.
I took Sam Houston in the Jerome. I'm going to stick with it. Give me the Bearcats, and that's Cats with a K. Give me the Bearcats to move on to the big dance. Let's move on here. The Big West, taking place in Henderson, Nevada, home of the Henderson Silver Knights of the AHL. Jay Walsh, I'll go to you here first. Who are you taking to win the Big West in what I know, and we discussed it last week, your favorite style of tournament bracket?
It's just disgusting. I'm gonna go with what I'm sure will also be Nick Burt's selection here in the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. partially because in this tournament, in this style of bracket, semifinal teams basically have to win. So I'm going to go with Hawaii here. Shout out Nick Burt.
Jay Walsh, can I ask for a comment from you? Because as you just stated, and you stated last week, that these type of tournaments are basically set up for the teams that finish first and second. When in the Sun Belt, the Stairway to Heaven, 7 games, 7 days, we saw Georgia Southern go 5 games, 5 days, lost in the title game, but beat 4 teams in front of them, and all of them were part of that tied for second group. So I would just like to comment on that before moving on.
My comment on it is, as you said, they went on a great run, but it's basically impossible for those teams to win the tournament because, as you said, they have to play 5 games in 5 days. It's just a really stupid setup that doesn't allow for that team that gets hot to go all the way and make it to the tournament. It's just a really stupid setup. I'm not going to get into it again. I just really do not like that format.
Thank you, Jay Walsh. Matt, who are you taking here to win the Big West?
I think you know the answer, Nick. A team that people hate on because of their geographic advantage of playing at home, even though they weren't that good at home this year. They actually were better. I don't know if they were better away from the island, but they were still pretty good off the island, better than normal. Give me the Rainbow Warriors. Hawaii, baby. I don't have any other explanation other than it's Hawaii, and they deserve to be in this tournament because that's the vibe we're going for. We want fun mid-majors, and what's more fun than the Rainbow Warriors?
Jay Coster, who are you
First
taking?
time since 2016. Hawaii. Let's go.
Wow.
Are we about to have a clean sweep for the Rainbow Warriors here? That makes me.
I mean, this is a fun podcast, and Hawaii is fun.
Guys, I'm taking UC Irvine. I took them in the Jerome. I remember watching the game. Hawaii was at UC Irvine late January. They went to overtime, and UC Irvine was just the much better team in that game. They only lost to Hawaii by 1 on the island, but UC Irvine is just the better team. Yes, it hurts me to go against the Rainbow Warriors, but I'm looking for winners here, and UC Irvine is a winner. I will gladly be wrong, but give me the Anteaters to move on to the NCAA tournament. We move on to the WAC, which had some controversy this week, to say the least. This, as I know of now, is the official bracket. I don't think anything has changed. Matt Merrifield, who are you taking to win the WAC? I believe this is the final ever WAC tournament.
I took Utah Valley without being caught up to date on the whole situation. And although they are by far the best team in this conference, I feel like the WAC is going to call the lizard people in the WAC offices are going to stop this from happening. So if you're looking for a different pick, give me Texas Arlington. But I don't love it. I mean, the Wolverines are probably going to win it, but I have a feeling that, the WAC lizard people do not want Utah Valley going to the conference tournament or going to the big dance. And Utah Valley's had good teams before, and they haven't won it, I feel like, last couple of years. So the problem is there's no Grand Canyon to go in their place, so there's really not a much better option. But hey, go Mavericks.
And as everyone knows, the WAC lizard people run the world.
They do.
Jay, please, let's hear your pick here for the Western Athletic Conference.
Yeah, give me Utah Valley. I don't know anything about this conference, I'll be honest. Give me Utah Valley. Yeah, that's all I got.
Jay, did you know that Utah Valley is leaving the conference and didn't pay a buyout and was potentially banned from this tournament unless they paid the buyout as of 24 hours ago.
No, I didn't. I did not know that.
Okay.
I can't keep up with the Twitter world these days. But so if they're eligible right now, then yes, give me Utah Valley.
They have apparently paid the buyout
Right, great.
via court.
Way
so
to
they
pay your
should
dues.
be correct. Jay Walsh, who are you taking here to win the final ever WAC tournament?
Utah Valley.
Wonderful.
That's it.
Give me Utah Valley also. I don't know anything else about any of these teams.
It is absolute groundbreaking analysis on WAC basketball from the Merrifield Sportsbook Show.
Correct. This is why people tune in for this in-depth analysis. And we're going to get into more of it right now. Ivy League basketball taking place. I believe Ithaca is Cornell. Could be wrong. If I'm wrong there. Actually, no, I know I'm right. It's Cornell. Jada Coster. Who are you taking to win the Ivy League?
You got to go Yale. Yale runs this conference every single year. James Jones, I believe, has been in that role for 23 years or something like that. He's going to do it again. It's Yale all the way, and they're going to be like everyone's going to pick them as a 12 seed to upset, I don't know, Tennessee or something like that, and it won't happen. But I'm taking Yale.
Jay Walsh, who are you taking to win the Ivy League?
I'm gonna go with Jay. I'm gonna go Yale. As he said, they run this conference. They win it almost every year. I really don't see any of these other teams making it, but who knows? The Ivy League can get weird sometimes, but no, I'm gonna go with Yale.
Matt Merrifield.
Yale.
Wow. I guess I'm the only one that believes in the FranCon, the power of Fran McCaffrey, Penn Quakers winning the conference. Give me Penn. Fran McCaffrey. I can't doubt the former Iowa man. I know he doesn't have any of his kids playing with him, but Penn is winning this tournament somehow, some way. Give me the Quakers. Shout out to Palestra, home of Penn State basketball for one game a year. On to the Atlantic 10, another conference that has just been picked over, but still has some decent teams here. A chance for a 2 or 3 bid league, depending on how things play out. Jay Walsh, who are you taking here to win the supposedly the 50th anniversary of the Atlantic 10 Conference?
I know it's the boring pick. I'm gonna go with St. Louis. Obviously they're the 1 seed, but they've been the best team in this conference. Obviously, I mean, Robbie Avila is taking a bit of a step back this year from where he was last year. But I think they're gonna get the job done in Pittsburgh. They're gonna win this tournament, just mostly because I don't really A10 is going to make a big splash in the tournament this year. I really don't know that any of these teams are good enough to make a run, but hey, I could be proven wrong.
Matt Merrifield, I'll go to you next. Are you taking the Adrian Wojnarowski St. Bonaventure Bonnies to make a run here after the Woj files dropped on Twitter this week?
More so, I'm not taking St. Bonaventure because of the 20 minutes of basketball I watched from 11:30 to 11:50 this morning. And although LaSalle was somehow worse, St. Bonaventure is not a very good basketball team. But the team that's going to go on a run, Nick, future Spartan. No, I am not picking Loyola Chicago to go
Thank
on a
God.
run. I am going with. It seems like every year the team in the A10 that's on the bubble seems to take care of business in this tournament. And this year it's VCU. In some spots, they're one of the last 4 in, first 4 out. I think they take it completely out of the picture. I think VCU goes on a run and wins the conference. They actually tied with St. Louis. They both went 15-3. VCU team that I think should be in regardless. They played tough with Utah State on the road. They played tough at NC State. They went to they didn't go to overtime, but they lost by 6 to NC State. They played tough with Vanderbilt. They beat a South Florida team that's on the bubble, which when we get to the American, I have to bring that up with you, Nick, and the rest of the group. I think this is a good VCU team that's been tested. They've lost 1 game since January 10th, and it was to St. Louis. They got swept by St. Louis, but I think they can get it done this time around. All they got to do is 1 if St. Louis even makes it that far. Give me the Rams and the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Jay, I'm going to you next here. Who are you taking to win the A10?
Yeah, the A10 gets a little frisky. I'm gonna go take a little long shot here. I'm gonna go Dayton. They're a decent team. They played BYU pretty close in November, lost 83-79. And they also beat St. Louis a couple weeks ago at home, which was a nice win for them. But they're going to be a bid stealer here. I think they can definitely beat St. Louis again. The A10 gets wild, so I'm gonna go Dayton.
Jay, you just said the key words there. The A10 gets a little wild. That is why I'm taking the George Mason Patriots to win this tournament. Listen, I love Josh Schertz, and I love Robbie Avila. I love the St. Louis Billikens. But what I watched last Saturday, when they just got absolutely throttled at the Eagle Bank Arena in Fairfax, Virginia, and George Mason won 83-57. And George Mason's had a really good year. I don't think people really talk about them enough. They had a 4-game losing streak a few weeks ago. They had some kind of bad losses in there. But Tony Skinn is like a really good coach. I honestly think he is a dark horse
I'm
here.
gonna call timeout.
Time out.
Where's this going?
I'm just saying. I'm taking George Mason.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
I just want to say Matt's face when you said George Mason the first time, I think was maybe the funniest thing I've seen on this show.
He was like
the amount of disgust in that face.
George Mason lost 5 of their last 7, Nick.
I'm aware, but again,
they lost by 30. They lost by 20 to George Washington.
George Washington isn't bad.
They're the 9th seed
They're the
in the Atlantic 10
tournament.
They're 17-14. They're not bad. Again, the A10 gets frisky.
Unless the ghost of Jim Larinaga comes from the rafters of the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, there is no way. They're going to need Mario fucking Lemieux to come out and score for them against Dayton. No. No. They lost 5 of 7. They lost by 19 to George Washington, 18 to St. Joe's, 15 to Dayton. They lost 4 of those games by 10 or more.
Wait, can you talk about how that coach is a great man? What was it? That was what I just started cracking up about.
I'm sorry, Nick. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but what the fuck?
Tony Skinn, future Georgetown head coach.
Wow.
SEC basketball. I don't even know where to go here. We've gone off the rails. Jay Walsh, who are you taking here to win the SEC?
Oh my God, I'm still trying to recover from George Mason. Going into the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament last year, I made the prediction that Florida, while obviously they were red hot and they were one of the best teams in the country at that time, I thought that they were peaking too early. I'm not making the same mistake again. I'm going Florida. I know they've won 11 games in a row. They haven't lost since January. They are the best team in this conference. The SEC obviously isn't as deep as it was a couple years ago. There are some pretty not good teams in this conference, including one team run by a Nepo baby that should be nowhere near the bubble field. But that's besides the point. I'm going to go with Florida here. I'm not making the same mistake twice.
Matt, I'll go to you next here. Who are you taking to win the SEC?
I'm taking the Florida Gators. I mean, they got off to a not great start to the year, obviously, but their guards figured it out. The size they have down low. I mean, there isn't a more dangerous team in the country, and they didn't even get off to a bad start. They lost to UConn in Boston, and
that was MSG.
It was at MSG, even better. It's a true home game. They lost to Arizona by 6. TCU, sure, but hey, TCU took Michigan to the wire too, so maybe TCU is just really good guys. They lost to Duke by 1, UConn by 4. I mean, and then since the ACC also kind of stinks this year. But like the Missouri or Kentucky's not going to do anything. I don't think Vanderbilt's lost all their steam that they started the year with. Arkansas, I think, is the biggest threat just because of Darius Acuff. But man, the SEC is like a wet paper bag right now. I mean, there's not a lot there. There's not a whole lot going there for me. So, give me Florida, and it might not even be close. How good far they're going to go in the tournament, I have no idea. I don't know. I have to figure out my narrative for repeat national champions and whether or not they'll make it out, or just the reigning champ if they can make it out of the first weekend, because team's really good. They're going to have to lose. I don't even know who they would get matched up against as a 1 seed that they would lose to, but I guess we'll find out.
Jay, who are you taking to win the SEC?
I'm also going to Florida. I thought about Arkansas just because of Darius Acuff. He's a very dynamic guard for them, very fun to watch. And then I realized that Florida beat the brakes off of them 111-77 not too long ago. I mean, they're just the hottest team in the country. They're, like Matt said, their front court is incredibly dynamic and big. So yeah, it's Florida for me.
Can't believe everybody is just completely ignoring the fact that the team that was predicted for 13th in the SEC preseason poll and finished tied for 4th, the Texas A&M Aggies, in one of the dumbest tweets of all time. They're losing tomorrow to whoever they play. Roll Tide, give me Alabama. That's all I got for that. Nate Oates, future Spartan. The American Conference, Matt Merrifield, you get the floor here because I know you wanted to talk American hoops. Yeah.
So I'm torn because we need to have is South Florida on the bubble? Like, where are they on the bubble, Nick? I know I asked you this, and that's why I'm posing the question of yesterday. Now, CBS has since moved them down to a 12 seed, but yesterday they were an 11 seed. They were seeded higher than Miami.
I told you I think I've seen them in the 12 to 13 range, which tells me they are just not on the bubble.
I mean, based on some of the teams that are on the bubble, I think I'll take UAB or I'll take USF in the tournament over Auburn, or literally like half the field. I'm taking USF simply because I think they're dangerous enough to go on a run, because I do think they are actually decent. But watch out for the Shockers, baby. I mean, I think it's those top 2 teams. Even though I did see somewhere that UAB is one of the best teams away from home in the country. Like, they are a better team when they're not on their home floor, which is scary. And they're usually competitive. I know the game's in Birmingham, but I don't think it's at their home arena. It's at wherever Auburn and Alabama play all their neutral site games and non-conference play. But anyways, give me South Florida, because I think they're too, like, I want to see them go on a run. But Wichita State, I think, is a really good. I wish I could take Wichita State as a bid stealer. Unfortunately, I can't.
Jay, who are you taking to win this American Conference?
Yeah, I'm also going South Florida. I mean, like Matt said, they're a team that can get hot and can be can upset some teams, which is going to be scary in March. But um, Tulsa is also interesting. I think they can definitely. I mean, they have the same odds as Wichita State, but they definitely have a similar resume to Wichita State. So yeah, I mean Tulsa can definitely make some noise as well. But South Florida, I feel like it's their tournament. It's the tournament to lose for them.
Jay Walsh, are you taking South Florida here also?
This is one of the rare moments that I will look at a bracket of this style and pick a team that is not already in the semifinals. I'm going with Tulsa. I think Tulsa's a really good team. They're a really well-balanced team. They do everything well. They're the top scoring team in the conference. They're one of the best rebounding teams of the conference. They shoot well. They can defend. They're just a really well-balanced team. I do like Wichita State as well. And obviously, I mean, South Florida has been the best team in this conference. They're on a 9-game win streak, but Wichita State's on a 6-game win streak and Tulsa's on a 5. So, I mean, all three of these teams are hot coming in. It's really just going to be about who plays their best in this tournament. And I think that can be Tulsa. So I'm going to go with Tulsa in this one.
Give me South Florida. Go Bulls. They find a way to, well, I mean, they're the 1 seed. It's not hard to find a way here. Give me them to win this tournament. And folks, we have made it to the final conference tournament. That is this bloated Big Ten tournament with all 18 teams in. We have teams just wasting people's times right now. Washington and USC did their thing today. That was whatever. Indiana lost to Northwestern today. They shouldn't be on the bubble, but they are. I don't know what to say about this tournament. Jada Coster, what say you about the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, everyone's going to take Michigan. I mean they're a very dominant team this year. Michigan State played them really hard. Michigan's just a better team. But I feel like the Big Ten tournament, outside of Purdue and Michigan State and Wisconsin over the last 10 to 15 years, I mean, those teams were 1 seeds. Not a lot of 1 seeds really win this tournament. Michigan is a very dominant team. I'm taking Michigan State to win this tournament simply because I like their path. You get UCLA, who's just I mean, they're not great. They're not very good. Michigan State demolished them earlier in the year. You get Nebraska again, where Michigan State should have won that game, and they had a bunch of turnovers. I think they can definitely beat Nebraska. The big challenge is Illinois. I think Illinois is going to beat Michigan, and Michigan State will beat Illinois in the title game. I just think it's a very favorable path for them. If Michigan State were, on the other side, it'd be even more of a challenge. But Michigan Illinois on the Saturday will be a very good game if Illinois gets past Wisconsin. But I'm going to go Michigan State here at plus 700. I like their odds. But it wouldn't be shocking if Michigan won. They're just on a whole another level right now. But I'm taking Michigan State to win this.
Jay Walsh, who are you taking here to win the Big Ten?
This is a really weird one because partially, like Jay said, 1 seeds oftentimes don't win this conference tournament, even though, like I said, throughout the year, I think Michigan is one of, if not the best team in the country. Very sneaky not to win the tournament, but keep your eye on Northwestern. They're beating Purdue. They're going to beat Purdue tomorrow. I'm telling you that right now. They're going to beat Purdue, and they might beat Nebraska as well. Michigan State may be playing Northwestern in the semifinals of this tournament. Keep your eye on the Wildcats.
Come on, man.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
Anyway, I agree with Jay's point that I think Michigan is losing in this tournament. I don't think it's to Illinois. I think they're losing to Wisconsin because I think Wisconsin's going to get to that game, and we already saw Wisconsin Wisconsin beat Michigan earlier in the year. This Wisconsin team has the guys that if they get hot, I mean, we saw when Michigan State played them. MSU really didn't play that horribly in that game. Wisconsin just absolutely boat raced MSU in that entire game. If Wisconsin gets hot, they can and will beat just about anybody in the country. So I think I'm going to take Wisconsin to make a run and win this tournament. Oftentimes somebody kind of comes a little bit out of nowhere to make a run in this tournament. I'm going to go with Wisconsin as that team. But like I said, I do think it's going to be Michigan State versus Northwestern in the semifinals of this tournament. I think MSU probably wins that game because Northwestern is a bit of a one-man show. But yeah, I think Wisconsin comes out of nowhere to win this tournament.
Well, CJ Walsh, Northwestern, if they got to the semis, would be playing their, fifth game in 5 days? And as you've said, it's hard for teams to win that many games.
Hey, I didn't say they'd win the semifinals. I said they'd get there. So,
Matt, who are you taking here to win the Big Ten?
I'm taking Michigan. I don't feel good about it, but like as I look at this bracket, and speaking of wasting people's times, the first 2 days have been a waste of time. The Indiana Northwestern game, I guess, did something for me, and I have no idea what's happening in the Minnesota Rutgers game. But the first 2 games today were a waste of time. Like, I would love to know what the ticket prices were. I know it's a session, so Iowa, Maryland might have been slightly inflated because Iowa does have fans. But like those 3 of those 4 teams playing this morning might have had a combined 150 people in the building. Because who's wasting their time coming out for 1, maybe 2 games. But besides the point, going on through, I do think Wisconsin goes on another run. They've made the title game, but lost the last 2 years. And they just fill it up. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but they just score. Now, I'm not falling for a trap. Like I did last year when I fell in love with them and they lost in the round of 32 to BYU. I know better. Greg Gard in the tournament sucks, but they will still go on a run. But I don't think they're good enough to beat Michigan. Not a second. Michigan won't lose to them a second time. I hate that Michigan State is on the side of the bracket that they are, because here's what I want for Michigan State. I want them to win against whoever they play on Friday. I think they're playing Minnesota. I know Minnesota was losing to Rutgers last time I saw. I think Minnesota's beating UCLA because Mick Cronin, west or east of the Mississippi, is dog shit. They're just a bad basketball team, and he probably doesn't even want to be there. So Michigan State against Minnesota, Michigan State will win. I agree that I think Purdue might lose tomorrow, but Purdue or Nebraska, I think Michigan State matches up well against, based on how the teams are playing right now. But I don't want Michigan State to play on Sunday, because if Michigan State's a 2 seed, they're playing in Buffalo. That means they play Thursday. There's nothing to gain out of playing Sunday. Truly, I don't need them wasting their time getting all fired up to play Michigan, and then to win or lose, there's nothing to gain from that, respectfully. I want them to go on a run, and although I think they'll be fine the first weekend of the tournament, do what they did last year. Play well both games, lose a hard-fought game on Saturday, get the extra day of rest, and just take care of business next week, and do what we're all here for, which is to get back to the Final Four in Indy. So, I mean, State will probably end up making the title game because, like I said, I don't see Nebraska or Purdue beating State or Northwestern. Before you fucking ask. But Michigan's going to win it because I think it's going to end up being Michigan. I'll say Michigan, Nebraska. I guess I'll predict that Nebraska somehow beats State, but Michigan will win. Michigan's win the conference, guys.
Michigan probably is winning this conference, but I will give you a dark horse here. You may be able to compare this to picking George Mason to win the tournament, but Matt, I sent you the tweet today of a screenshot of the TV post game that Ben McCollum has won his 31st consecutive conference tournament game. His last loss was in 2016. They may go on a Jay Walsh Northwestern run here and make it to the semis. I think they beat Ohio State tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I think they give Michigan.
That's Ohio State sucks.
Well, partially, yes, but I think Iowa maybe makes a little run here. Again, getting past Michigan, big problem. I still think Michigan wins the tournament, but keep your eye on Indiana basketball, or Indiana, Jesus Christ, Iowa basketball, Hawkeyes.
Can I just say, is there anything more Big Ten tournament than Ohio State, Iowa? I don't know what it is. I feel like they play every fucking year. I'm pretty sure they played last year. Like I saw the clip from like 2020. It feels like they play every single year in the conference tournament. Doesn't matter. Somehow, some way, these two teams find a way. I'm now realizing, I don't know. It just feels like those two teams seem to always play each other. I know they played in 23.
Matt, the last time they didn't play each other was 2022.
So, okay. So last 3 years they've played each other. Now 4 years in a row. That's that's grit. That's just what this conference needs. It's going to be color rush action, high noon in Chi-Town tomorrow. Jay's going to be on his lunch break, sneaking down to the UC, trying to sell Syntax products.
I wish. I'll be in South Loop, just sneak my way over to the UC real quick.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I know Jay. I know what he's going to be trying to do. And I had another thought, but I don't know. I'm not going to share my stat that I shared with you today, Nick. I guess I can share that. I'll wait until about Big Ten Players of the Year. I'll wait until our show next week leading into the tournament when I inevitably have Michigan losing to a MEAC school out of just pure hatred. No other reason. If Michigan plays an HBCU, they are going to win by 70.
Correct.
They might lose to the 9 seed. But I'm praying the committee doesn't do that to us. If they give them a MEAC school, I'm going to be so pissed. Because when was the last time State played a MEAC school? Then again, we haven't been a 1 seed since like 2012. But that's besides the point. Like when it's our turn, we always play the CUSA or the fucking Arch Madness, the Missouri Valley. It feels like.
What conference is Brian in?
They were in what conference are they in now? Oh, they're in the America East now. Correct. I think they're in the America. Yeah. They used to be in the Northeast, but I believe they're now in the America East, which they were part of last year. Yes.
By the way, Matt, speaking about your Rutgers Minnesota game, you are currently missing an absolute barn burner right now. Rutgers leads Minnesota 38-36 with 14:27 left in the second half. Neither team has hit 40, and we are past the under 16 timeout in the second half.
Jay Walsh, have you not taken a look at the score at MSG? We are just over the 16-minute timeout, and it is, 29-27.
Oh, lovely.
Georgetown.
Well, that's because the Big East sucks.
Good
as
news
I pointed out earlier
is that the Razzlers have taken control. I forget where that conference tournament is being played at. Oh, it's
Norfolk, Virginia.
The SWAC? I thought that was the MEAC in Norfolk.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're basically the same conference, so
exactly.
It's all one.
But anyways, I don't know.
The SWAC, the Razzlers have taken control. They're up 9 with 3 to play. So Venom is 2 games away from the tournament.
Wonderful. We're going to wrap it up here because what a show this has been. Does anybody have any final parting comments before our next convening, which will be once we have a bracket?
All I got to say is Northwestern is getting to the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament.
No, they're not.
You can hate on it all you want. They're doing it. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
They are Chicago's Big Ten team. They're gonna do it in the city.
My final comment: Santa Clara is good? ? But it has to be read like it's a statement. But there is a question mark.
Did they win last? I didn't even check the score.
It was close, but they lost. That's why I say it. They're good? ?
I'm sad I can't watch the Starch Madness final tonight. It starts at 10:30.
Well, last thing, the Vaqueros are dead to me after what they fucking pulled last night. I stayed up till 1 a.m. for them to miss not 1, not 2, but 3 potential game-winning shots, including one that was halfway down and rolled out just for the Death Star that is McNeese State. The Fourth Reich is going to determine now the Southland
They
Conference.
couldn't handle the aura.
Fuck him. Seriously.
That's how I really feel, man.
They couldn't handle the
I'm
aura.
watching between him and watching Kadir Copeland and NC State play whatever they want to call basketball. I mean, good Lord. And Will Wade might be the next coach at LSU. I got nothing. Stephen F. Austin needed to win that game and they didn't. So whatever. I'm just saying the Vaqueros they were this fucking close.
All right. One final question. What is more likely to happen? Northwestern making the semis or George Mason winning the A-10?
Well, Northwestern making the semis because it's going to happen.
Neither.
Obviously.
No, we need Starch Madness champion Idaho.
Yes. we
That's
need
what we
Idaho.
need. They're favored.
Get the Death Star Montana out of here.
The 7 seed Idaho is favored by 3.5 tonight against Montana, and the public
Montana's
is
the
over
Death
Montana.
Star of Starch Madness.
I don't know. Idaho's won.
Montana State. I don't know.
See. Idaho lost to Montana both times in their fate. Put the mortgage on Idaho tonight. Why are they favored? Done.
I love Starch Madness.
Wow. We're just going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you again next week. We're going to have a bracket. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait. I know Jay Walsh can't wait. I know Matt can't wait. And I know Jay can't wait. We'll see you again next week for another episode of the Merrifield Sportsbook Show.